Yeah, hello guys. Welcome to Nest for Code, the place where code nourish. So in today's session, we'll see about control structure. So like in the previous session, we got an idea of like how variables works, what are data types, numbers, right, strings and all. So in today's, we'll see that if you want to go with conditional programming, right, how does it works in case of Python? So and all this, what does this conditional programming means? Like, so when we want to make a decision, right, based on some conditions or based on the value of any variable, right, in all these cases we go with control structures, or there is a possibility, right, based on something there is a possibility of like multi flow, right? I would say I will explain you. So it's also called as like branching, right? So normally what happens, right, in case of say computer programming, you can have a condition, and based on condition you have multi flows, right? There can be different flows or different directions which you can be going with, right? Okay, yeah. Or based on this you make some decisions, right? Okay. So let us suppose if I just give you a very basic example, right? So let us suppose you are having a say marks as input for a student, right? So you're getting marks as input, and based on what the marks is, you have to decide if the student will fail or pass. So let us suppose we will check condition, right? If marks is greater than 30, right? So if this condition is satisfying, right, if this condition is say true, we'll say the student pass, right? And if it's say false, we say student is say fail. So we can have such kind of cases also, right? Where we want to base on some condition, and if it's pass, then also there can be multiple flows or there can be other conditions also based on which we want to decide, right? Yeah. And these true false, they are used to show in like in programming language, we show like if the condition is satisfying, we say it's true. If the condition is not satisfying, we say it's a false, right? So this is simple. Like based on condition, we can have different flows, or you can say it's a branching. Like this will be a separate flow which will go, and this is a separate flow which will go, right? Like this. If it's true, we'll go that students will get pass certificate, or it's go. Or in false case, there can be other cases also. Like he need to go for, right. If it's false, and also we have an option like maybe some grace options, and other cases can be. So there can be multiple again this condition, and we have to decide based on this, right? Okay, right. So I think you get a rough idea of all these control structures, and this is also very important, right? Because in programming also what we do, like we are somehow implementing some real problems only, right? So then the case is, right, we also have to make a decision, right? We don't have one direction in which always a say system is going or our life is going, right? Based on whatever the condition is and which way we want to go or what the final decision is, there can be a different path, right? There is no like one just one road which is going, or there is not one direction in which it's going, right? Okay. So yeah, so let's see how all these things works in case of Python when it comes to programming, how we do all these things. Yeah. So yeah. So I think like if we go with theory, like it's based on the condition we want to make some decision. So for all this purpose, we use all these control structures, right? And based on if the condition is satisfying, if the condition is not satisfying, as I showed you, right, there can be two paths. One is true or false. Based on this, there can be different flows which is going. So all these are called flow structure. And normally, right, these diagrams we use for these diagrams to represent control structures, right? This is called condition box, and this can be like normally we just put this pass fail also in some boxes. So normally you will see these conditions also in boxes, right? This will be a kind of a output for this condition, right? And this will be a input for this condition. So this will be your say input to your system, right? Input, we can just represent something like this. This is a short form we use for input, and this will be your for output, and this will be your output if the condition is true, and this will be your output for if the condition is false, right? And this all this control structure, it's common across languages. It's not specific to Python, right? And the syntax would differ, right? But yeah, the control structures behavior would be almost same across the language. Okay, when we come to control structures, right, there are few operators that we use. These will be the normal, this will be different from a normal operator, like assignment operator or other operators we use, right? So we use all these operators to manage all these control structures, so they will be helpful. Okay, so before I explain you operators, I just want to explain you one thing, right? Okay, so before we go with operator, let me take one thing with before this, the Boolean values. So what does Boolean values means and all? Okay, guys. So before going to control structure, let's see what is Boolean value. So guys, in Python you also have Boolean values. Boolean values are they can hold a value true or false, right? So it's not like a truth dare game, right? It's what true means, it's satisfying. That's it. It's positive case. False means it's not satisfying. The condition is false. False case. You can think about it like a truth table if you have heard of in like with gates and other things. If like all these OR gates, NOR gates, we have studied them. Yeah, these are similar to that only. True means this condition is true, or false means this is a false. False means no, or true you can say yes, kind of. Yeah. So whenever you do a comparison, you will get either a true or false. It's not possible that, and this will always. So guys, one thing also, right? Unless or until you are doing some random operators or randomized things, it's not that sometimes based on the input, the condition will give the different results. But if the input is same, your system should always give the same result. Unless you are doing unless your system is developed in a way that you won't get random results, the output may differ for the same input. Otherwise, your system always expected to work in a same way for the same set of inputs, right? Even like the problems that you are practicing, right? If you give one input multiple times, the same output is expected, right? Okay. So it's simple, right? In Python, if you want to define any Boolean variable, so these are Boolean variables. They can hold either true or false. Normally, you can either comparing a variable with a literal, or a literal with a variable, or a variable with a variable. Let us suppose if I'm comparing 2 equal to 2. So right, this equal to, it's a comparison operator. Similarly, we have not equal to operator also. We have greater than operator, greater than equal to operator, less than operator also, less than equal to operator. So it will check two variables, so it can check two literals also, it can check variable with literals also. Literal, it will be a constant value like this. So we can check for any cases here, right? So if you see here 2 equal to 3, it will not be, what is the value? It will not be true, right? It's coming as false because 2 is not equal to 3. We can also store them in variable and then check, right? A equal to 2, B equal to 3, and then we can check A equal to B. No, right? It's not equal to, so it's coming as false. So whenever the condition doesn't satisfy, our Boolean output will come as false. If the condition is satisfying, it will come as true, right? And we can check, say, a variable with literal also. I can also say equal to 2. Yeah, this is coming as true because it is satisfying. Similarly, if I say equal to 3, this will not work, right? Because it's coming as false, right? Similarly, we can use other operators also. If A is not equal to B, or if A is greater than B, so whatever the case is we want to test, we can use all this comparison operator, right? So guys, normally, right, if I can also store a output of this comparison operator in a variable if I want. So what does it mean? I can simply say result. So maybe you have not seen this very often, but yeah, this is also possible. So can I do something like this? So I'm saying A equal to B, and result, I'm trying to store it in a variable, say A equal to 2, B equal to 3, and result I will say A equal to B, right? So, and we can print the result, right? So we can also store whatever we are getting as output of a comparison operator, we can store it in a variable also. So what will happen here? This will evaluate this condition and will assign to this variable result, and we are getting finally what result here. Okay, guys. So I think like, and similarly we can try it with other comparison operators. So if I want to test if two values are not equal, I can just say A is not equal to B. But normally you will not see assigning these values much often, but you will see more than with the if else conditions. Okay, I'm saying A is not equal to B, right? So what will the output? A is not equal to B, right? So it's coming as true. So we were checking for the condition that if A is not equal to B, yes, it's not equal to B, so we're getting true. Okay, so these are operators. We will just give true and false, but finally, right, to execute this and to go with the flow, we use if else statement, right? So first we'll see only if, right? So what we want to do here, we just want to use if this is true or false, we want to do this, right? Okay, so what we do, so if you see the syntax, right, if the condition is true, it will just execute these two statements. Okay, so it's not necessary that we will always use if with else, right? It can be the case that it's kind of a dead end. So okay, what I mean, let us suppose we are saying a marks for a student, right? If marks is greater than 33, we'll say pass. Okay, let's keep it 30, right? Let's do some relaxation. So we'll say pass. If the marks is greater than 30, the student is pass. We don't know what will happen if the marks is not greater than 30, right? Okay, so we can take this as an input from user also, but yeah, for now let's keep it declared. So in this case, the output will come as pass. But if we use the same program, right, and in place of 33, let us suppose 29, right? And if we try to execute this, what will be the output of this program, guys? What will the output of this? What will the output of this program? What do you think? What it will do? Error? What's the error here? False? So guys, what the case here is, condition will not satisfy, right? So marks are not greater than equal to 30, so it will not print pass. So do you think these lines will be executed? Will it execute this line or the line? If I talk about execution, will it execute line 2? Is the line 2 expected to be executed? Line 2 will be executed, right? It will check for the condition here. Is the line 3 going to be executed? No, line 3 is not going to be executed. Why? Because condition doesn't satisfy. Will we get any syntax error? No, because this is correct, right? If the marks is greater than 30, we'll say student is pass. Otherwise, we don't know what will happen with the student, so he might need to wait. Yeah, but we are not showing anything to the student, right? We're just saying if your marks is greater than 30, you are pass. Otherwise, you are in dilemma, you don't know what next, something like this. So if we execute this, it will execute. You can see here, right? Number is reflecting, but nothing, because it will not show any output. It's syntactically correct. It's a correct thing. So it's not that always we will have a S case, right? Sometimes we have one choice. If we get it, it's okay. Otherwise, we don't have any choice, right? Okay, guys. So, but yeah, it's look somewhere weird maybe that we are saying a student, the students who are getting pass, we are saying them, yeah, you are passed. But the other students who are not actually passed, we are not showing anything. They will be confused. If the system is not working as expected or they have failed, what happened, right? So in these kind of scenarios, normally we can use else also. Like if we know there can be other cases, right? So we in Python we use if else. And guys, one more thing which is very important with if and all, indentation part, right? So what does indentation here means? All the statements which is coming inside if, so the if always have colon here, and all these statements you can see the space here. So all this should be a tab. I cannot write like this. Why? Because for the interpreter to understand that if this statement is a part of if or it's a part of a main program, we need proper indentation, right? So if I try to execute this now, because I have removed this tab space, it will not work. Expected an indented block. You might have seen this error very often. So what we need to do, this should be a, you can just put a tab character here, and whatever is coming inside it should be inside a tab character. And I can just press, now it will work, right? Okay. And if else condition is also there, like if the if condition is not satisfied and we have another path or another flow we want to go, we can use else also. Okay, so let us suppose this case, right? So if I see this syntax, right, we'll have a if else, and in the else we are not checking any condition. This will be the default path which will go if the condition is not satisfying. Okay, so what, like if you see the same example, we can say if marks is greater than 30, you are pass. Else, maybe we can show him that better luck next time, or right, maybe something like this, right? So if the student is not pass, we'll show him a syntax that you are not pass, or like you better luck next time. I think this statement will be like student can understand he has not passed the exam, right? So if you execute now, the output will come as. So guys, just tell me one thing, do you think this line will be executed? If condition will be executed now, if I execute this program, or it will just execute 4 and 5? So it will execute, right? First it will assign the marks, and it will execute if, right, if condition doesn't satisfy. So he know that, right, if the if condition is not satisfied, we have to go to the branch, the next branch, which is else part, and in the else part we'll execute this, right? So the line number 1 will execute, 2 will execute, then 4, 5, right? So the output coming as better luck next time, right? And we can have multiple statements also inside if and else. So whatever the statements that will come inside if and else, they will have a same indentation level. So what does it mean? Like let us suppose I want to show the marks also to the student, right? So we can just have a print here, and we can say marks, and we want to show the marks also to the student, right? And we can just print marks also here. And this is also your choice, like if you want to put this marks inside if and else, or we should put it at the beginning, right? So in this case, both is, so if you see whatever is coming inside if or whatever is coming inside else, they should be at the same indentation level, right? You can see with the cursor, you can check if sometimes you want to check the indentation level. For if and else, this the indentation level is same, right? You can see with the cursor these things, right? Okay guys, and now if I print this, it's coming as marks 29, better luck next time. And now also it can be a design question that we should put this marks outside or we should put this inside, right? Maybe like something like this. We can also put this marks, because if in any case, if I want to show the marks, I can just print it at the beginning also, right? Here also. What's the benefit is, we have a principle in design that we should not do write the same code again and again. It's a dry principle which we have in designs, which is called as do not repeat yourself, right? So you can print this marks, and once we move this out of if and else, it should go at the same indentation level, which is at marks. So it will be like this, right? And now if we execute, it will output would be the same, and we have saved one extra line which was code which was repeated. We have skipped that part. Yeah guys, so there can be cases, right, where we don't have just one if and else, right? There can be an, like based on the next part we want to make a decision. Suppose we have a condition 1 here, and if this condition is set true or false, right? This condition can be true, or this condition can be false also, right? And if this condition says true or false, what we want to do, we want to check some other condition also, right? It can be say, or here we will show some output. Okay, show some output here, right? And what we want to check some other conditions also. If this is true, we'll show some output. If this is false, we want to check some other conditions also. So here we can have say condition 2. And if based on if this condition is true or false, we can have different flow also again. So it can be something like this, right? So like this, we can have multiple flow also in the program. It's not always, so if we can consider this as a, okay, one thing, we can consider this as a, like if it's true, this is a case, this is false. I'm just representing it with T and F. This is a case. This condition 2 is again true, we'll go with this direction and we can have F direction or false direction. But like once a condition is true, we cannot, if we want inside that if else, that's a different case. But yeah, these flow can be there. Like if you have multiple branching, we go like this. And again, we can have for false case, we can have multiple conditions. So this is a case where we'll be using multiple if or else. Okay, so let's see how we do it in Python, right? So in Python, we have this if condition, and then again, if we want one more condition, we'll put it as elif and the condition 2, right? And we can have else also, right? So what will happen if the first condition is false? It will go in this part, else part, right? And if this condition also again doesn't satisfy, it will go in this again else part, right? So like this, we can have multiple conditions also. Condition 1, if it's not true, we can go to condition 2. If the condition 2 is not true, we can go to condition 3, like this, and so on, right? So if the condition 1 will be true, it will execute statement 1 and 2. If the condition 2 is true, it will execute 3 and 4. Otherwise, it will execute last 5. Okay. So I think to see example, let us suppose based on the student marks, we want to say assign him some grades. Let us suppose we know like we have some internal marks or external marks also. So let us suppose we are considering the internal marks, say out of 50, student got some marks and we got some external marks also. And let us suppose external marks are say out of 100, right? And after this, there will be some conditions or some logic based on which we want to grade the student, right? We'll give a grade to students. Okay, let's see our problem first, right? What will be the case for us? Okay, so we can say if marks, if internal is say greater than, let us suppose if internal marks are greater than say 45 or external is greater than say 90, give grade A. So this is a condition student will be assigned a grade A, right? And if we say like if the internal is greater than equal to say, if the internal is greater than equal to say 48, yeah, he's performed well in the internal, right? So we give him some relaxation, say in the external maybe 88, right? Or we say 80, or we keep it say 40. It will get grade B, right? Similarly, so these are the conditions for, and if the internal is say greater than 35 and external is greater than 70, we will say give 60, we will say give grade C, right? So these are few conditions which would be there, right? Or if internal is greater than 30 or external is greater than 50, we'll give. So guys, this is a case where we want to do with two things, right? I'm not just dealing one condition, I'm not dealing with the total sum, right? Okay. And I also here if the internal is say greater than equal to 25, or we'll say 20, and external is say greater than 30, we'll say give grade E, else otherwise fail, right? Okay. Okay, so guys, before going with this problem, let's make this problem simple and then try out. Okay, let's go with total marks. So we know internal external is given. We are saying if total marks, so we know it's out of, if total marks is greater than 140, we'll give A grade. If total marks is greater than say 100, we'll give B grade. Similarly, if total marks is say greater than 80, we'll give C grade. If total marks is say greater than 75 or 70, we'll give D grade. Minimum passing marks would be 45, right? If it's 45, we'll otherwise fail. Okay, so in this case, we know that we have to deal only with one part. Okay, so let's suppose if you want to write the program for this, we'll say if. So we know we have to internal or external, we'll just sum up it, right? We'll just create the sum of these two. So we'll say total marks. So guys, you can take this as an input also. I think for ease, I don't want to take input again and again. That's why I've just declared them, because taking input is not a hard job, right? Okay, now we'll say if total marks is greater than 140, we can just print or store it result in a variable also, grade A, right? Okay. Else, so guys, once I press like enter here, it's coming at the same line, but I just want one line, so I have to go to this if level only if I want to add else part also. So here it will be elif, right? And we want to add a condition here. What we want to add? We want to say total marks greater than 100. We'll just print grade B, right? Similarly, we have one more elif condition because we have more flow here. If the marks is greater than 80, it will go grade C. Similarly, we will elif if total marks is greater than 70, we'll just print grade D, right? And we can copy this also to do it quicker. And if total marks is greater than 45, it's coming as E. And then now we will not use elif because it's a final condition. So we'll, and guys, for the cases when we have else condition, right, it means that we'll always have a output for our program. So it will come as say grade F, right? So based on total marks, we have done this. So in this case, you will see we are just dealing with one variable, right? So what will the output for this? Which grade will get? What will the output of this program be? A. Oh, it's 135. It will be B only, right? Not A. Okay, guys. So it will coming as B. Okay, guys. So let's try one more. I just want to change something around this program. Okay. Okay. Let's move. Okay. Okay. So we have just changed some flow. Okay, fine. So, okay, and let us suppose we have a marks, say 45 and 45. The sum will be 90. Okay. So guys, what will be the output of this program now? What do you think? What will the output of this program? We have internal marks as 45, external marks as 45, and the sum will come as 90. So what will the grade? Grade will be D or C? So in these kind of scenarios, right? So if we just change the order of if else. So guys, it's always important to have your if else condition in a proper sequence because they will execute it one by one. So what will happen here? Your flow will come here. It will check if the marks was 140. No, it's 90. Okay, this condition fails. Now it comes here. If marks is greater than 100, no, this condition fails. If marks is greater than 70, yes, 90 is greater than 70 because they will always execute in the sequence, right? It will not find the best case, right? So the output will come as D because we have somehow placed this at a wrong place. So guys, the order of your conditions is always very important in the case of when you are doing all this logical conditional programming, right? The flow is important, but the order of the condition is always also important. So that's why grade is coming as wrong. It's coming as D in place of C. Okay, guys. So yeah. So I think let's see. So before we move on to the actual problem we want to do, right? We wanted to do this problem. No, we wanted to do this problem, right? I want to introduce two keywords also here. So we have and or keyword in Python, right? So we use this when we want to have, like, because it's not that we will always have one condition, right? So it will give you true. This will satisfy if both the conditions are true. This will satisfy or will give you true if any of the condition is true. Yeah. Okay. So and or keyword, and and means both the condition should be true, or means any condition to be the true. So normally how will you see them? So we'll be using them something like this. Condition 1 and condition 2. Condition 1 or condition 2, like this. So in our case also, right, if we see, if we move on to our actual program which we were trying to solve, this was a problem, right? So what we want to do, we want to check both internal and external marks, and based on this we want to move on. So guys, here we need to use this and keywords also, because our problem is not just based on one condition. We have multiple conditions here, right? Yeah. So okay, so let's move on to our actual problem. So we'll move on to this problem where we want to have a combination of conditions, right? Okay. So let's try to write this program. It will be somewhere similar to this program only, but a condition would be different. So I think we'll just copy this code and then let's try out. Right. So here what we want to do, we don't want based on total marks, we want based on the given marks. Okay. So if the internal marks is greater than 45, and guys, here will be use and keyword, because based on and keyword we want to do this. And if his external marks is greater than 90, right? Sorry, if external marks is greater than 90, right? So it will be a grade, right? So guys, similarly, there can be a cases where we want to operate based on or, but yeah, this is a case for and. If internal marks is greater than 45 and external is greater than 90, we want to give a grade A, right? Similarly, if the internal marks is greater than equal to 45, right? Sorry, this was equal to 45. The second condition, it's equal to 40, and external is greater than 80, will give him a grade B, right? And similarly, we can use and operator for if internal marks is greater than equal to 35 and external marks is 60, right? It will come as a grade C, right? Okay, we'll just copy our code also. If internal marks is greater than 30 and external is greater than 50, and I think as per our condition it should be greater than only, right? We should use greater than operator here. But yeah, for internal marks is greater than equal to, but external marks is just greater than. So the grade will be D, right? And similarly, if the internal marks is greater than equal to 20 and external marks is greater than 30, we'll just use E. And then we can just say else grade F, right? Okay. So I think this is we have done with using AND operator. So we have just combined conditions also. Similarly, we can use OR operator also, and we can use combination of AND or OR also. Okay, guys. So if marks is say 45, 45, what will be the grade in this case? What will be the output for this? What will be the output of this program? A, B, E. What will be the output of this program? So guys, both the conditions should be true to get output because it's an AND operator. Both should satisfy. So we know it will go to first statement. Yeah, internal marks is greater than or equal to 45. Yes, it's there. But is it external marks greater than 90? No. So this condition fail, it will go to the second condition. Here also this will satisfy, but it is not satisfying, right? Here also this is satisfying, but this is not satisfying. Here also this is satisfying, but this is not satisfying. But here this is satisfying, yeah, but this is also satisfying, right? So the person will actually get a grade E. Oh, something got wrong. Okay, this is just a syntax error. So we'll just correct this and then execute. Okay, no issues. We have some typos. Okay, we copied this code. This is something can come up with copying the code. Okay, so once we execute this, we are getting grade E. So both the conditions should satisfy, and this is how we can do. And we can take this input from user also. So I will suggest you, right, to try this program on our own and take this internal marks and other things as a input from the user. So as a homework, I will recommend you to try all these programs also, normal program also, which we discussed, and these two programs also with the same conditions. And try to use and or keywords and try to play around with this, all these condition comparison operators also.